Good morning, welcome to my channel. Today I'm showcasing this garden journal. Honestly, it was a challenge for me. It's a 3.5-inch spine, over 300 pages. I sewed around tags and everything. I haven't done a garden journal as such like this, and I really felt that it didn't warrant lace. If the person who gets this wants to have lace, they can put lace on it. I really felt that I had to leave room for that person to move around and do what they please with it, and that means writing and whatnot. So about 6 tags, I've got a bit of lace on the top of them. Everything else I just sewed around and left it pretty plain. But as you can see, it sits beautifully. It's 11 signatures, 6 pages per signature, which I think gives you nearly 300 pages. But I'll take you through. I got this picture from a book I had, and I really loved it, and I just felt it went really well since it was a garden journal. Like I said, 3.5-inch spine, solid cover, made by me. I'll open it up, make sure it's in frame. Now, this journal, what I really liked about it is this beautiful kit. It took me a long time to find such a kit, but I was able to, and I was really pleased. I used some Edith Holden pages for the tags. I didn't over embellish, and I used Jars Gardening Medieval Kits. I don't really know the name of her store, but anyway. That being said, this is Amanda Taylor's one. I forget her store, but anyway, this is what I come up with. I don't normally do promotions as such, but I really felt this was worth showing. I done all my printing on parchment. What I like about printing on parchment, you get that beautiful print, and it's aged print, you know, like. And then I done some dye experimentation to achieve this green. I just felt it needed a bit of colour, as well as tea stain pages. They're little tucks like there. Like I said, these are from Jars Medieval. Jars anyway, I just can't remember her store. But I was really happy with the pages, and then I created a different technique of dyeing, this to go with some of the pages that I printed out from TaylorMade Journals. This is an Echo Printing. I think it's TaylorMade Journals. I can't remember. It's A World of Muchness. That's the one. But I really like the fact that that printed out the way, that dyed the way it did. And at some stage I'll do a tutorial and show you how I achieved it. Again, the parchment, it just printed so beautifully. And then my tea stain pages, and they really printed out beautifully. I got my own method, and I normally stick to that method. Again, you know, it's got little tucks. And like I said, I kept this basically plain because I wanted it to be a journal that can be written in. And this way it can be, you know, it can be written in and whatnot. But it's just so gorgeous. And it can be left like it is. But whoever gets it, they can also play with this and do what they like with it. I mean, there's plenty of room with all the pages. Each signature has got 2 lots of the prints from the digital kit I used. But it's just, I love the effect. And I just didn't want to spoil it. You know how sometimes we can actually overdo a journal? I did not want to do this to this journal. I just wanted to put a simple, but, I don't know, simple and not overdone like I normally do my journals. I just created some book page ephemera. Like I said, I used Medieval Mirages. That's the name of these prints from them. From her, sorry. She's actually 2 hours down the road from me. And I backed it on over 120-year-old book pages. Keep this book old and delicate looking. And I love the way it's turned out. It has turned out beautifully. Like I said, the tea dyeing, the actual way I dyed that come out beautiful. And I just believe it complemented this digital kit. That's me saying that. So, you know, you might think differently, but to me, this has complemented it, and it's given a person room to move in this journal. And it's got various tucks. The big journaling cards from Edith Holden. Various other ephemera I had lying about, which I like using. This is a multiple tuck spot. Use some leaves. These are just plastic leaves, but I really love them. Again, you know, there's multiple bits of ephemera in the pockets. So, again, you can do basically what you like with this journal. Like I said, it's got a lot of room to write in. And I figured that's the main thing for a garden journal. Normally, I just go gung-ho, put laces in, all that. But then you know what I'd end up with? A real bulky journal that it's not going to leave you room to jot down notes and stuff like that if you're into gardening. And this journal actually just, the digitals just attracted me into making one. And I've wanted to make one for quite some time. I've made smaller garden journals, but nothing like this. Like I said, you know, it just gives you room for growth. And I just love the colours of the journal, the way it turned out as well. Multiple ephemera. Again, like I said, the tea stain pages, just gorgeous. They just, I don't know, they just, everything stands out in this journal. It looks like a real book, which I suppose it is, but the way I made it, it lies flat, so you can actually write on it. And for the amount of pages I've used, that is really a godsend. And the amount of ephemera I've actually put in it. But it's gorgeous, so I really love it. And like I said, I've kept it plain compared to my other journals. If you look on my YouTube, you will see it's a lot plainer than my norm. The signatures are double sewn in. And they're just gorgeous. Ephemera that, again, I used really old pages. And I left them as a whole. I just think it makes the journal. And that's what I try and do with all my journals. You know, try and do things that are specific for the theme, but also move away a little bit from it. But I just love how that turned out. Like I said, lots of pages to write in if you're a garden person. I'm not really a garden person, but I've always wanted to make one of these journals, so that's what I did. But this kit came without the ephemera, so I used Medieval Mirages, some ephemera, which I've got lots of. And it's just gorgeous. Just love the papers. Love how it turned out. I just made it, absolutely made it, these pages. Hopefully Amanda thinks I did a good job of her kit and jar from Medieval. Normally I don't, like I said, I don't really do the promotional thing, but because it took me so long to actually find kits that worked for me, it made it hard to do a garden journal, and this kit really did work for me. To have all these plants, you know, just like having a book, but a book that you can actually write in, and which is what we wanted. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And like printing on the parchment, I don't know what you call this in the United States, but here we call it parchment. It's where they write their invitations on, you know, pretty expensive paper. But I always figure it's worth it if you're writing, if you're doing a journal of this type, to use the expensive paper. It's got corner tuck. Again, the beautiful tea-stained pages that really stand out, and so does this colour. It all just stands out, and that's what I didn't want to cover it all, even though it has got lots of ephemera and tucks, you know what I mean. This has left the way for you to add your own touches, whoever ends up with it. That we never know. I didn't want to interfere by inking the edges. I just wanted this to stay natural as possible. It's just an envelope I made out of a book page, which I quite like. A little tuck there. Like I said, this is probably the most simplest one I made, but the longest that it's taken to make. Because it's a lot of effort when you're doing different techniques for dyeing your pages to suit a journal, because I always think of how my dyeing the pages are going to look with the actual kit, and that's what it's all about, you know, making sure that it's going to have a perfect fit. But yeah, Edith Holden page, you can write behind the tags, but like I said, I basically really kept this simple. I sewn around some of the ephemera, actually quite a bit of the ephemera, and then there's some that aren't sewn around. I like the thread hanging off my journals, so I tend to do quite a bit of sewing, but I just love it. It's just gorgeous. It did turn out really nice, without no interference from me in the pages, apart from really being pedantic about how I dyed the pages. See, the green just, it just flows right through naturally. So I just sewed around some of the ephemera, and that really made it, you know. Sometimes it's very hard to make up your mind how you should follow through with a journal. I just followed through this way because I just thought this is the best way for it. And it just gives the opportunity for somebody who wants to do something with this journal, whether they want to write in it or whatever, you know, that they can actually do this now without my interference. It's gave them a big base to work off, and I don't know, I'm quite happy with it. Like I said, I didn't want to put laces in it. I don't believe this warranted it. I believe this just worked. The colours, the kit, all come together without my interference with laces and stuff. It really is a nice journal. Just beautiful. I really, really love it. Also, there's this that you can put down in between your pages. It's also doubles up as a ephemera pocket if you want to keep ephemera in it, but also so that you can writing this journal. But isn't it wonderful, the green? It's just amazing how it turned out. Like, I'm really, really grateful it turned out such... Did it come together? That's the word I'm looking for. Because sometimes some things do not come together as good as I like them to. But with this one, it did. I felt a little bit out of my depth with it, but in saying that, it's worked. So I cannot whinge. Look, it did come together in the end. A bit scary, but daunting, but it come together. Again, Edith Holden tag, a bit of leaf. As you can see, I just didn't go overboard. I just kept it to how I thought it should be. I put some wax on there because I just thought it needed it. But I honestly think this journal is one of the nicest one I've made that is a plainer journal. I only think that I went a bit overboard with the cover, you know, giving it some texture with moss. And it stands beautifully, so you can have it on your bookshelf. You can have it open because it's going to sit nicely anyway. It's been sewn in. There's a bit of lace there, a bit of cheesecloth hanging out, a bit of ties hanging out. I just think this worked its own magic. So thanks for watching and liking and subscribing, and I hope you love it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. I still got the wax feel on my hands, but yeah, see you next time, and thank you.